Welcome back to the Phoenix Media Days as we talk now with the Webbers Falls Warriors about the upcoming 2021 season. And Coach Trent Holt and his crew with us today. Let's just start right off, Coach, and talk a little bit about getting ready to get into the season. You all managed to struggle through COVID last year, make a couple of playoff games, and now we're kind of back to business as usual, so must be a little refreshing for you.
It is. We hope it stays, business as usual. Last year was luckily our district and our team, we didn't miss any time. We had a kid quarantined a couple times. I had to set out a game, but other than that, we were all there, and we got to play, made the playoffs, went 7-5, which is the best we had done in a few years. And we think if we can just stay healthy and beat COVID this year and stay eligible, that we got a chance to better that, and I think we'll compete for a playoff spot. And kids have been working hard this summer. It's the best summer we've had. Weight room's been showing up. They've been showing up and doing what we even asked them. So, we're going to be young and inexperienced, but we got some good athletes and got some good team players, and we're just anxious to get it started.
Really, for you guys, it's been a couple of years where it's been not business as usual. You had the flood one year, stopped everything, and then COVID. So, really, is nice to kind of have a regular season.
It is. The flood year, we didn't start till September and didn't have a locker room and it's barn equipment, and we made do, and it just all that stuff's adversity. You talk about in football, there's always adversity, and it's just that those teams and those people that can rise and meet those challenges that makes them successful, and we've done a pretty good job of that. And yeah, we're looking forward this year. Hopefully it's all normal school year and football season, and if it is, it's going to be fun.
Talk a little bit about what you got back as far as numbers, offense and defense.
All right, numbers-wise, we're looking at a good up year for us. We think we're going to have 20, 22, 18 kids. And I know there's a lot of coaches out there saying you're only playing with 18. Well, when you're at a small school, we've been averaging about finishing a couple years at 10 or 11. And if we can start with 20, everybody stays healthy, that's a good number for us.
How many starters you got back?
We have these 4 right here, full-time starters that are coming back. All right, we have two starters that decided not to play for whatever reason, and that we lost 3 from last year, and then you put those 2 in there, so we lost 5 starters. But these 4 guys right here have started every game last year, and 2 freshmen, and then these 2 juniors, they started since they've been freshmen. So, they're the most experienced guys that we got.
Okay, well, I'll let you brag a little bit. You got a guy down on the end there, Maddox Shelby, who was a freshman last year, had himself quite a season as a freshman.
Yeah, an outstanding season. He's a good athlete, very coachable. He's a good kid. He's dedicated at what he does, and he had a great year running the ball, throwing the ball. And, of course, we have some good linemen. We're going to have some good linemen, but he knows how to play football. He's been around it since he was in the 5th grade and playing it, and so that's always a plus.
Maddox, tell me a little bit about your background, how long you've played, and kind of what last year was like for you.
Last year was really nerve-wracking, but I've been playing since I was like 8. So I've been to a football game. I was playing football every weekend when I was 8 at an 11-man team, and then when I got older, I came into junior high, and I've been playing ever since. So I've been playing forever.
And you've been at Webbers Falls all the time?
Yes, sir. I lived at Weber, stayed at Weber.
What was the biggest lesson you learned last year as a freshman?
Just take it in, overadapt and become. Adapt and overcome. There
Okay.
you go.
Do you have any goals that you set for yourself you'd like to accomplish this year in terms of numbers, either rushing or passing?
In terms of numbers, I'd like to do a little bit better in both as we look to this season. But as a team, I think we should be able to go and do everything just as well. But we lost a big chunk of our offense with Josh Mason leaving. So I think we're going to have some kids step up and fill that gap.
Okay. Right next to you is Caden Dishman. Caden's one of the big guys on the team. He's a tight end and defensive end. Talk a little bit about that line play and how important that's going to be for you guys this year.
Defensively, I think we're going to be struggling a little bit because we lost Josh, and he was fast. He could really go off the line and help us out. But offensively, I think we're going to stay pretty good. We got a good quarterback. Got a decent tailback coming in. I think he'll do pretty well. The Lions are definitely going to have to step it up. We lost Waylon and JD. They were two really good offensive linemen.
Okay, and one of those guys that'll be on the line is next to Coach here is Chandler Long. Chandler, talk a little bit about your thoughts on the line a little bit.
I think the line's really going to have to step up since we lost key components, and knowing that me being on the line, I know that it's one of the hardest positions out there, and that we need somebody to really get out there and show them what they got.
On the defensive side, you guys probably play both ways. Dylan Young is one of those guys, another one of the sophomores. Talk a little bit about some of the lessons you learned last year, Dylan.
I learned that always go hard.
What was maybe the biggest adjustment for you going from middle school ball to playing varsity?
It's a lot harder. You got to learn to stay on your man all the way. Don't let them get past you when they're going out for passes. Make sure to keep your eye on the quarterback.
A lot of times when I ask that question, one of the main answers is just the game is so much faster at the high school level, right?
Yeah, it's way faster.
Those guys have the 4.2 speed and pass stuff, and it's hard to stay up with them sometimes.
It's very hard sometimes.
Talk a little bit, Coach, about do you have seniors? What kind of senior leadership are you going to have?
Well, we don't have any seniors this year.
That's
So we have no senior leadership. So if we don't have a good year, we're going to blame it on no senior leaders because they're just not getting it done. But like I said, one of the guys that decided not to play, he was a senior. But, you know, anytime you got a group of people together trying to achieve a goal, you got to have somebody that leads. And it's always you look up to those older guys that's been through it, and hopefully that they can bring that. Well, it's going to fall on our juniors and sophomores, you know, and like I said, I wish we had more seniors out there, but, you know, we'll do with what we got. And then if you don't have any seniors and you have a pretty good year, you can always say, well, we ought to be really good next year because we didn't have any seniors.
Right.
You know,
So the year of experience next year, you guys will be talking big time.
we should, you know, because these guys have started every game they played in high school, you know, and so you can't beat experience. We know that.
How many of you guys play more than one sport? Anybody? Oh, all of you do. Okay, well, let's start down at the end. Maddox, what do you play besides football?
I play football, baseball, and basketball.
All three. Which do you like best?
Football.
Why? Well, just because the coach.
I'll say when I was playing when it was football season, football was my favorite sport. If it was baseball season, baseball was my favorite sport. Now,
Why do you like football the best?
I like football because I get to hit people without consequences.
Without consequence. Okay, Caden, how about you?
I play football, basketball, baseball. Plan on doing track, but I've always been a basketball kid. Come from a school that never had football, but since junior high, I like football. It's just something about it.
But you still like basketball better?
It's pretty close. It's on the line.
Borderline, okay.
Believe it or not, when he showed up, he was an 8th grader, and we're out there, and he's watching us practice. He said, I don't think I'm going to play football. And we're sitting there looking at him. He looked like he was a sophomore as a 7th grader. Like, you got to play football. And then now you talk to him, it's just like he loves it.
Chandler, what about you? What do you play?
I play football and track.
What do you do in track?
I do the mile and the 800, more of a long distance than I am a short runner.
So which do you like best?
Football all the way.
All the way.
Yeah.
Dylan, about you?
I play football and baseball,
What do you play in baseball?
left field,
Okay. Which do you like best?
football.
Why?
I've played it my entire life.
Okay, we'll go back to the other way now, and I'm going to ask another question. Go ahead and start with, keep with Dylan. Is there a role model in your life, either a coach or a parent or a pro or college player that you've followed at all?
Not really, no.
Chandler?
I would have to say my coaches are a big inspiration to me. My dad and my uncles have always told me to, you know, if you're going to do something, you got to go at it after it with all you got and, you know, give it all. And if you love something, you know, you got to play it as hard as you can. And they've always just taught me to do that. And the coaches have told me just to go at it 100%.
Caden?
I'm going to have to say my parents and all my coaches. But first, I got to put God first.
Okay.
You know, I'm a big Christian guy.
Good, all right.
Got to have him first.
Maddox?
I'm kind of the same with Caden right here. God first, but then my coaches and my family is a big part for me.
Okay. So as we approach, let's talk a little bit about your district and your schedule, Coach. Let's talk about your preseason games. I mean, your not preseason,
Non-district
games.
Non-district, we're opening up with Prue, week 0. I don't know. They're probably going to be pretty good. We scrimmaged them in team camp. We matched up pretty well with them, and then they've had a coaching change since then. So definitely a game that we can win. Then we got Wesley and Christian. Go to Bartlesville. You never know what to expect when you play a Christian school, because one year they may have a totally different group than they had the year before. We play Oaks. They're Class C. Traditionally, they've been pretty solid, but we're going to match up. We beat them pretty handily last year, but you can't go by last year. I think we'll compete that game, a chance to win that one. We played Summit Christian last year out of necessity to fill out our schedule, and since then we have dropped Summit Christian. We picked up Watts. Watts was wanting to play. They didn't want to play Dewar, because Dewar was just killing everybody, and Summit Christian, we didn't, not that they beat us, but I just didn't want to play them again, so we're playing them. And then we're playing Cave Springs. It's a close game. And Cave is traditionally, they've been pretty solid. They always had a lot of good athletes, a lot of speed, a lot of big kids. Last year they didn't have but 10 or 11, but I don't know. You'll never know what you're going to get year in, year out. They could be really good or not as good. Then our district, is tough. Quentin, they're a very good football team. They got some really good players, good athletes. The quarterback is a very good runner, throws the ball well. Defensively, they fly around, and they're young, juniors, heavy like we are. And so, it's not a game that you say, yeah, we're just going to roll in there and we're going to beat them. It'll be a tough game for us. They're beatable, of course, but it'll take a really good effort. And then you got, like you say, Dewar, defending state champs. Now, they graduated a ton. But if Coach Bean and his program over there are always going to be solid. They're going to always do stuff right. They're well coached and they're fundamentally sound. So anytime you play Dewar, you're going to have to strap up, because they're going to hit you. They're going to do stuff right. So that's a toss-up game. If you look at it on paper, we would be the underdog, probably a touchdown or so. And then Wetumpka, same deal, juniors, sophomore, junior heavy like we are. Big kids, always got a good athlete or two. That'll be a tough ball game. Then you got Porham. Porham will be a good football team for us to play. They're the closest game we play, a rival. We play them on everything. And a lot of people think, if you beat Porham from Webbers Falls, you've had a good year, and they probably think the same way. If you live in Porham, if you beat Weber Falls, that's all they want to do. But they'll be a good football team for us. And then Weleetka, they've hired a new coach, a young guy, been through Corey Bell's coaching tree, very successful when he was at Morrison. So I'm sure they're going to be good. So our district is up in the air, I think. To get in that top 4, you're going to have to beat a couple of those teams, and it's going to be tough, but we're ready to take on that challenge.
Okay, young guys, well, we appreciate it. Good luck to you guys as you mature. We know at least we'll see you back next year more than likely, because, there are no seniors there, as we've said. So good luck, Coach Holt, and to the Webbers Falls Warriors.
All right, thank you for having us.